You can choose how much or how little you want to share, and don't forget that at the end of the day, social media was made to be fun.
Hi, I'm Stephen Byrne and welcome to It's Good to Talk show, brought to you by 3 and Jigsaw. For the second episode in our 4-part series, I'm joined by social influencer and presenter James Patrice, 2018 Rose Tralee, Kirsten Mate Marr, an entrepreneur and actress and everything else in between, Aoibhinn Garrahy. We're here today to talk about the challenges young people face online and the one good adult that helped them through it. Thank you so much for coming in, guys. Very much appreciated.
Thanks for having
I'm going to get you to show your age first and tell me about the first social media platform that you were on. What was it?
Well, I actually kind of shockingly was very late in the social media game. I didn't get anything until I got Facebook.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't have Bebo. I was never a Bebo stunner. Nothing like that, you know.
Hard to believe.
I know, what can I say? Yeah, so I was Facebook and I would have been 20.
Ah, what about you? What was the first one that you were on?
Oh God, I remember I had a Bebo account and I had MySpace as well. I didn't really know how to use it though. I remember, but the first real big one was probably Facebook. That's when things started getting, you know, all this likes and all of popularity online kind of started becoming a thing to have.
What about you? What was the first one you were on?
MSN Messenger was the first thing, and that was a great. It was like WhatsApp.
The debates that were had on MSN Messenger. You would rush home every day and go straight on after school.
And the first introduction to emojis, I guess, you know, and you know the world that they opened up, you know, that you could say something with just a smiley face.
And the brutal reality of just seeing the word K.
Okay. Yeah.
Like,
She K'd me.
Yeah. I know what that means. Yeah.
Or be right back, or talk to you later, you know, all the abbreviations. And if you had to say that, if you didn't, people would be wondering, where did you go? Did you just disappear into the abyss?
Yeah.
And then it was Bebo, but I think that was set up for me, and my Facebook account was set up for me. I had a friend in college, she was American, and we were over on our J1, so it was that late as well. It was, you know, well into my 20s, and we were in New York, and she said, you know, you need to get Facebook, and I didn't know what it was, and she set it up for me, and she just set up my profile picture, and the rest is history.
Brave move to have someone else decide your profile picture.
But I was green. Yeah. You know, we didn't know what we were going in blind. We didn't know what we were getting ourselves in for, really. So.
And it's so mad to think about where social media was then and where it is now. Yeah. Like when you look at the positives of it, obviously it's affected all your lives in many different ways. For you, I'm guessing, you know, it's given you this whole new world that you didn't have before.
Totally. I mean, for me, I started Snapchat because I was working in retail after college. I did drama in college, similar to Aoibhinn, and I always wanted to. I said, I'll leave now, I'll become an actor, it'll be great. Yeah. That didn't happen. You know, 3 years in retail and miserable. And I was off sick for a period of time, and I was at home bored, and I started Snapchat, just literally out of boredom. Started putting up a few skits. It was when it kind of started to get a bit big. The likes of Pippa O'Connor and everyone was on it, and then I got a shout out from her and someone else, and then before I knew it, it went bigger. And so it was kind of unexpected, but for me, the positive was that it gave me an avenue to put myself out there, because people then were able to say, oh, he's a bit kind of funny, he's able to do stuff. And from that, then I remember I got a part in a kids show, Unrity Junior, from them seeing it. And they were like, oh, you know, I said, would you need me to audition? And they said, no, we know you can do voices and characters and stuff. So it was very positive for me, definitely. It got me out of a rush, I would say, definitely.
Really?
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, you're miserable. When you do something for 40 hours a week that you hate, wow, it can really take a toll on you, and you're just like, oh God, I'm not fulfilling myself. I feel, you know, stunted. I'm not being creative. And like literally this tiny phone that you speak into set me on the path to kind of just finding myself again. That's very deep, isn't it?
No, but it was a way for you to express yourself.
Totally,
major.
Totally. It was like a mini audition tape.
Do you like social media? Is there an element to it that you do enjoy?
Yeah, I always loved, especially Instagram. I think I just took to Instagram. I think it's a nicer environment. I found it quite positive when I joined it, and it's actually the social media platform that I stick to the most. The likes of Twitter and things, I had them, but I actually ended up deleting them because I find there's a lot of negativity on those spaces. There's certain places you'll go on the internet and you'll find negativity, so I tend to avoid them. But the likes of Instagram and things, for me, it's been very positive. I can keep on top with people obviously abroad that I never get to see. And then on the other side of it, then I get to find people that I never would have found before.
Yeah.
Like I went through a phase where I'd actually go onto Instagram and be in a foul humour. Like I'd be upset afterwards, and I suppose I kind of changed that then when I started unfollowing and picking what I
Which
follow.
people don't actually know you can do, maybe because
You
they
can
feel
do
like they're going to
that,
miss
yeah.
out on something by not following, you know, the big influencer or whatever, or the
Exactly.
big actor or the big musician that in their class everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
But you can remove that.
You can spin it to be really positive
Mm-hmm.
as well. It does depend. You have to kind of take control of what you're going to show yourself on the internet. I suppose you're your own guardian, you know, your own adult. Like, you know, you do it for a child, you need to do it for yourself as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, make sure that you're blocking things that you don't want to see and things that might trigger you. If, like, you know, different people have different things that they can't deal with. So just block all that kind of thing. And, you know, it's lovely.
Yeah.
You can block hashtags, and you can also time the amount of time that you spend on Instagram as well. And people don't know these things. So I find that very handy. I set a timer for myself every day.
Are you able to still maintain I guess, a personal
Yeah,
life online as well?
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
so.
I think it's important to disconnect in order to kind of reconnect, you know, and to give yourself that time and to set boundaries. And you can again fall into that dark hole of spending too much time, and it can eat into your family time, your relationships. For myself and my husband John, like we would have a cut-off time in the evening. Otherwise, we just wouldn't engage with one another, and that's just not healthy, you know.
Yeah.
So I think focusing on, you know, spending time doing things that make you happy rather than always trying to show people how happy you are, you know, I think is really important. And seeing things, you know, as they are rather than through a lens all the time.
I found as I've gotten older, I've taken pressure off myself, because I used to say, oh my God, it's been 3 hours. Or you might have people
need to-
messaging you, are you all right? What's going on? You haven't put anything up. Whereas now I'm like, if I think something is good and people might enjoy seeing it, I'll put it up. But if it's just out and about and just having the crack with your friends, you don't need to put it up. And that
not
just
worth
came
it.
with time as well, where you at the start you were kind of thinking, I need to post everything now, etc. But now it's like, no, you don't have to. You need to just step back and enjoy yourself as well.
And
Defo.
separate the two. For you, Kirsten, I guess the attention on you probably changed overnight.
Yeah, it was
online.
within one announcement.
Really?
Everything just changes. Yeah, from the announcement on stage, I just came back to a couple of more thousand followers and people kind of looking at you, and it was weird. It was
Yeah.
really, really weird.
Was it a lot to take? Did you kind of have to not look at your phone?
Yeah,
Or were you kind of interested in what was being said? And
I actually, when I came off stage, before even I had just gone on stage the first night, so I came off and the girls who had done my hair were like, come and look at Twitter. And I'm allergic to Twitter, as I said. I didn't think it can be quite a negative space. I ended up making a new account, but only with the things that I like to follow and the things that I like on it. So I was like, I don't want to see, I don't want to know. And it was all quite positive, but it scared me then that I was like, look at all these people passing remarks on me now, and they actually don't know me. Like they know 5 minutes of what they'd seen on stage, so it kind of freaked me out that like they were able to pass so much a remark on me, even if
And
it was
in
good.
a moment,
in a
an
moment,
instant,
in a second,
without
and
any thought.
it was overwhelming. So I learned to kind of deal with it fairly fast. I kept my private life private, and certain things went up online, as you said. Like, you know, you kind of learn to. Some things you should put up, and then other things then I kind of kept for myself, just so that I had my own kind of private life, that I felt like Kirsten and the Rosa Tralee were the same person but kind of separate at the same time. I still had my normal life and normal friends at home that I kept for me myself. So I think that is important, to not live your life through the internet. Like it's not fun.
did you get support during that time when
Yeah.
there was a lot of attention, and you know, people might have been saying things that were just completely negative for no reason?
Yeah, it was. I just don't understand why people do that. But anyway, I had my boyfriend's amazing. Keane was just fantastic, and my family as well were all really calm, even though it was quite a high energy
everybody, yeah.
situation. But yeah, I just kind of took it all in my stride. But I had good people behind me saying, Kirsten, don't let any of that go to your head. Don't let the good stuff go to your head too much either, because you don't want to get a big head.
God forbid, it's such an Irish thing.
Yeah, don't be doing that now.
At the same time, you don't want to let the negative either, because you don't want to put yourself down. You need to keep that level of just being humble and stay yourself. I just made a thing of just not changing throughout the year. I just wanted to make sure I was the same person I was when I went into the Rose.
But it does take, you know, a journey to kind of realise that, and a lot of negative experience sometimes to actually just go, oh, I don't care about that negativity anymore. Is there anything for you that kind of online through the year has stood out in terms of that negativity or jealousy from other people, or anything
Yeah, I would
that did shake
say-
you and still kind of would get to you?
Definitely my weight was a big thing. I think my weight and my sexuality,
Yeah.
definitely, because whenever people would say troll you or write negative things, I'd always say, I wish that they were talking about like my performance at something, my skills, my ability, because at least that's kind of constructive.
Yeah.
Whereas whenever you do anything, it's just, oh, there's that queer again, they love rolling out one, and there's always a few, he's the new one on the block, etc. And then with my weight, I mean, I'm certainly never have been Gigi Hadid, never have claimed to be. And it's kind of like, why do you find a need to comment on something? You know, and Twitter can be shocking. It really can. I remember I did Operation Transformation. And
I was going to say, was that just a huge moment?
It was a big deal for me because it made me kind of, like, I was 19 stone. It made me like stand there in my underwear and like confront myself and literally like, and you kind of don't realize, you think it's only, but like a lot of people watch that show because it's, you know, Irish people are very nosy. We love talking, about weight and marriage and all that kind of stuff, you know. And it was a big deal for me, and I remember that when the first episode aired, Twitter was going 90 and a lot of support, don't get me wrong, really lovely people, but then the usual, they had to throw a gay in. That one comment, I was getting so many more, so but I thought it did always annoy me, talking about weight and the fact that I'm gay, they're things that, you know, they're just me, you know, I can't necessarily kind of get around them, but you just have to, as I said, remember that that person who's written that doesn't know you. They don't care about you, and I don't care about them. They're no one to me. So it's, you know, it just takes a bit of time to get to that point, though.
And when it comes to how much time we spend online a day, obviously it's a polarizing thing because you can't actually sometimes figure it out. You're like, have I been on for an hour today? Have I been on for 3 hours? Instagram now has the option where you can say, oh, alert me when it's been 2 hours or it's been... Do you guys have that on? Is that something that you like to see, or...?
What I try and do is if I'm out with friends and family and stuff, I like to say, phone is down.
Do you put the on in the middle of the table, face down?
So, you know what I mean? And like, because otherwise then you just get totally caught up. And so like, it got to the point where I'd be there and my friends would be like, oh, James, red elephant outside, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I'll have the salad. So, you know, you have to kind of, you know, because it's the scrolling. And obviously now I would use my Instagram for work, of course, and you know there comes a point where you might have to post a lot that day, or you're trying to draft stuff for tomorrow or whatever, so you know you will have to be on it, but I definitely would try and step away from it. And what you were saying earlier, Kirsten, I've become more aware of only looking at the things that I enjoy and things that I might get inspiration from or whatever, fashion, all those kind of bits, and of course a good nose as well, because we all love a good nose. Lying in the bed, cup of tea, scroll. But yeah, I think I probably should maybe consider a timer.
Would you remove social media? I know, obviously, in that sense.
Well, I always say, if I had all that social media when I was growing up, I wouldn't. I would be in bits. Because, well, in terms of bullying, for a start, I was bullied in school. You know, you're gay, you're a girl, all this, the usual stuff. But at least the comfort that I had, when I go in the door and the door was closed, that was it. It was finished for the night. To think that you would have that, it actually hurts my heart. It really, really does.
Because I remember when I was a teenager, definitely I was like, because I was online all the time, I was almost considered the weird kid for that. But for me, being online was finding communities kind of online that I could relate to, because I couldn't see myself in my classroom. I couldn't see myself in the playground. I wasn't out. I was, you know, a big football fan. For my head, that like didn't go 2 and 2 together. But through YouTube and through, you know, online kind of forums and stuff, I was able to find people that were like me and could educate me on myself, which I felt like I wasn't getting elsewhere.
That's definitely a positive. I mean, there's such a liberation now with kids. I mean, like I do a panto, and last year, like some of the young boys in it were like, I'm wearing makeup for this show and I'm doing my RuPaul sachet down the runway, and I was like literally my heart was melting with happiness that, you know, this is all normal now. It's just another. And
the internet is the reason for that. Like, it's 100%. It's just made the world so much smaller, but also so much bigger at the same time.
It's this kind of bittersweet balance that we just need to get a grasp on.
Is there one good adult in your life that has kind of helped you at a moment with something that's happened online, or a way that you've been affected maybe negatively online?
For us growing up, like there was always an open forum. My parents created a space around the table every evening, regardless of what was on, extracurricular activities, whatever it was. We knew that that was a place where we could share our problems. And it is true, a problem shared is a problem halved. And we felt that instant weight lifted. I think if you can create that open, communicative environment, it's half the battle. And then they know that like there's a non-judgmental space where they can just share whatever is on their mind.
And James, for you, is there one person that was able to step in, and is there a specific moment that you remember them kind of really helping you out?
Yeah, I definitely say, like my family are amazing. They're all great. My mum, my dad, and my sister.
This is a total. They're all great, but
they're all
there's
great.
one
But I suppose the problem is, I suppose that like mum and dad are still on the Nokias, so
Really?
like they don't have smartphones. They don't have any of this. They don't
Actually?
get it. So like I could say have a bad comment or something, and I'd say, oh my God, mum, someone's after saying something there, and she'd say, what? Who is it? Right, where are they? I'll go and I'll get them. Who said that? What do you mean? I'd be like, oh, they're an anonymous profile. What? What do you mean?
Yeah.
So like they're great to vent to because they they will listen and stuff, but they don't really kind of understand. I think mum thinks that this person's coming up to me in the street and saying it, So my sister is great because Vanessa is very much, she's loves social media and stuff. She wouldn't be honest now as much. She's a teacher, so she's not really, in that world, but she's certainly an observer, and she has the profile and stuff, and she loves it. And I remember it was, there was, during the Rose Tree, actually, the first year that I did it, I was doing the social media presenting, and I was so excited. It was such a great thing to do and such a big gig, and we had a particularly good day. We got videos with loads of people like Nathan Carter and all the bits, the height of it. And I remember there was these comments coming in from two people specifically about my weight in every single video, and like they were going in. They were like, "Why is he wearing that shirt? His hair is making him look like everything." And then there was one person saying, "Oh, hope he's on the way to the gym," blah blah blah. And like it was that one day, every single video, and I was kind of like, "What is going on?" And then out of curiosity, I went into you shouldn't do, but I into their profile on Facebook. And the scary thing was, it was a man and a woman. The man was in his 40s maybe, and then the woman was a grandmother. And her profile picture was her with her grandkids, this lovely little lady. And I remember thinking, wow, this is outrageous. And I remember I said it to Vanessa, and like Vanessa just kind of said to me, James, okay, imagine our mum did that. How embarrassed would you be for this person? She was like, they are a total stranger to you. They are visible on Facebook. They're saying all these horrible things. She was like, I really hope that you realise you're doing something that you love, that you've worked hard to do, and I hope you feel really embarrassed for them. And I was like, actually, I do feel really embarrassed for them. And that moment really helps me with everything. I always look back to that. It totally makes me spin everything. And I say, Jesus, I hope they're okay. It's like, I hope you're okay, hon. So if someone says something bad about you, God help them.
Kirsten, what about you? One good adult in your life, someone that has impacted in a position where you were, I guess, facing something that was negative online.
Yeah, for me, I've had such good support over the last year, especially with my family and my centres that from the Rose of Tralee. They've been amazing. But I suppose for me, the easiest person I find to speak to is my boyfriend Keane, because obviously we talk about everything, and it just meant as you said, like a problem shared is a problem halved. I felt once I said it, it's not that big of a deal once you say it out, and especially with different comments passed online, and I kind of just felt it really would bring you down. But when you say it out, you kind of realise, this isn't, like, just because they said it doesn't mean that it's true. And I just found it much easier to cope when I had someone else dealing with it with me.
And of course, this year marked the big moment where Instagram got rid of the likes.
Yes.
I love it.
Good or bad? What do you think?
I think it's great.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do.
And how have you noticed it impacting on your day-to-day life, both, I guess, in terms of morale, but also then in terms of work and stuff? Is there a...
I mean, I would hold the hand up, like, you would often think, will this picture do well?
I know.
Will it get the likes? And whereas now, I'm like, oh, I love that pic. It could be a
And you put it up 'cause
blurry.
you like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be you like blurry somewhere, but you love it and you put it up, and it's like, oh, and it's brought Instagram back to what it was.
Yeah.
A nice forum to share stuff that you love.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It does work well when you're on the inside, but like everyone else, it stops that judging.
Well,
Like,
you think it's judging, and everyone can be up in their own head about
Yeah.
it, and you can be stressing, thinking people are going to think my likes have gone down, or they're up, or I'm doing bad on a photo.
Yeah.
Actually, no one cares
Yeah.
because everyone is so focused on themselves. And my dad has always said it, and Darren has quoted him on numerous occasions, and I will not curse during this show.
Yeah, it's a great quote.
Yeah.
Great.
But if we change the word to duck, no one gives a duck about you. They just don't, because they're all in their own heads about what's going on in their own lives. So the fact that that's now removed takes the pressure off. But whatever about me, I'm 32. I can fend for myself, but I think it's amazing for the younger generation because
So good.
I think they were having sleepless nights over whether their pictures would get a
I
like or
can't
not.
get their head around it though, about this whole thing. My sister doesn't like it at all.
Oh, I
She
think
just
in
thinks
the
it's
long term
awful.
they will.
It's
They
a good
will.
thing though. It's, I think it's
Yeah,
good.
Completely,
so much
because
pressure.
it takes away the popularity contest.
I find even as well, because I kind of at first just said, I'm gonna see how this goes. Weirdly, I don't know if it's an Irish thing, my likes have increased since it went away.
Yeah.
And I'm convinced it's because people are like not begrudging you anymore. Do you know what I mean? He looks well, I'm not giving him, whereas now they're like, oh, that's nice. So I wonder, is there an element of that to it? You know what I mean? And if
I
that's
think
the case,
mine,
maybe.
I actually think mine have as well.
You know what I mean? Yeah. People are, because the likes used to be like currency or something, whereas now they're giving them out
Happy
to
like
be
and
happier,
everything,
Yeah.
And Kirsty, you were saying you have younger siblings.
Yes, I do.
So do you feel protection there in that regard to kind of be aware of, maybe how they are,
Oh, yeah.
but also how they're affected day to day by their online life?
It's scary though, seeing them so young. Like I got a phone when I was 13, so I was only learning. I was growing up with it, whereas now, like Josh went into school already knowing what everything was, and straight away into Facebook and Instagram, and it's a huge platform, and there's so many people there. I didn't realise how big the internet was when I was younger. I didn't know that you had the ability to reach so many people, and it's kind of dangerous if you don't know what to do with it, and if you don't know how to do the internet right.
So what advice would you give to parents and possibly people who might have missed social media from their generation or are just getting into it now?
For parents and stuff now, I would say try not to go in as this kind of antagonist and this foe with social media, and maybe try and be a bit of an ally with your kids, because if you go in and say you can't do this, you have to be on this at a certain time and get off it at this time, it's creating that negative discourse between you and your kids. Whereas maybe if you went in and said, oh, I followed you today and I loved what you did there and that was great, then you can kind of create that nice relationship with them. So when the time comes that you do have to pull them up on something, it'll be in a supportive way, and you say, oh, maybe that wasn't the best thing that you could have posted, or maybe you shouldn't post this. So because you hear parents saying their kids have them blocked and they can't follow them and stuff, and I think if you go in heavy on, you're definitely going to create a barrier there. So just go in as a friend and as an ally, if you can, defo.
Do you feel like you've arrived at a point now that you don't take any of the negativity in?
Yeah, I kind of live by a saying now that what people think of you is none of your business.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
it's really not.
I really like that. Yeah.
I think you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. You're just not, and that's fine.
Completely. Have you arrived at a point now where no, you haven't? Have you?
Yeah, but I suppose in a way, like in my own little way, it's nice to know that like no matter what happens online, I know how to deal with it now.
Which
and
is
it's
amazing.
giving people the tools to know how to deal. Like we're never going to stop bullying online or bullying full stop, but we can learn how to deal with it and what to do when you see it. And I think that's important. I mean, especially with kids growing up and you're one adult and things like that. If you know you have that there, you have the tools to deal with whatever is coming at you. You don't know what's going to come at you no matter what different stages of your life. So you need to have the tools to be able to deal with that. And I think that's really important. And hopefully I will arrive at the point that you're at soon. And I won't have to ring Cian every 20 minutes going, Cian, but I know how to deal with it. And I think that's really important. Like, we're never going to have a perfect life. And I'm sure there's times where we all turn around and we're like, oh God, I don't know what to do here. You turn to that one person, you deal with it and you move on. And that's life in general. You deal with things and you move on to the next. I mean, you could be news today and everyone's saying stuff about you today, and then tomorrow you're old news. So you need to remember there's always another day coming that's, you know, when you're not going to be the centre of attention, and like just get through get the tools and get through what's going on now. So
and if you were joining social media today for the first ever time, with the experience that you've had from the last 10 to 15 years kind of online, what would you tell yourself?
Gosh, I would say that's very deep, Stephen. I would say kind of what I said earlier on. You know, take everything with a pinch of salt. Your profile doesn't define you by any means. You can choose how much or how little you want to share, and don't forget that at the end of the day, social media was made to be fun and to have a laugh and enjoy it. And if something isn't working for you, get off it.
Yeah.
I mean, as James said, it's social. It shouldn't be anti-social. It should be a positive, happy, friendly environment. And let's try and keep it that way, because there's enough shit out there, you know, with daily news and all that goes with that. Let's keep it a fun place to be.
Which it very well should be, and all you guys make it a fun place to be. Thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us, guys. Very much appreciated. I think we learned a lot today. If you think a young person in your life is having difficulty online, but you aren't sure what to do, here are 5 tips that might just help. Time it right. Find a quiet time to talk about what's happening on social media. Ask what's on their mind. Let them know they don't need to put themselves under so much pressure or compare themselves to anyone. Be supportive. Let them know you are there for them and can help them navigate online situations. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to have all the answers. There's nothing to be learned from getting things right all the time. Listen without judging. Let them know that they can talk about all things bothering them. Nothing is too big or small. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Remember, it's good to talk.